Good morning, second graders. Today we are on page 282 and we are on unit 13, lesson 7. Today we're just going to be continuing with what we did yesterday. We're going to be practicing more of the bar graphs. So our objective is going to stay the same. It says, today I will draw bar graphs to represent data and answer questions about the data. So that's our plan today. Okay, so if we look at our vocabulary, ladies and gentlemen, nothing has changed. Just a quick reminder that horizontal bar graphs mean our bars are going horizontal, and vertical mean the bars are going vertically. And everything else is the same. So I'm just going to get started on my problem. So I'm going to grab my red pen. And here is my first problem. And this looks familiar because we saw this before when we were doing a picture graph. It says, use the data to label and fill in the horizontal bar graph by shape. Then answer the questions about the graph. Okay, so my first thing I see is a triangle. So I'm going to cross off my triangles and count them. 1, 2, 3. I see 3 triangles. So I'm going to draw they said it's horizontal. A horizontal bar till I get to the 3. It's going to end at the 3, and I can color that in. Okay, then my next category is a heart. So I count them. 1, 2, 3 also. So I can draw my bar, and it's going to be exactly the same length as the triangle. Then I have a circle. Let's count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my bar needs to go to the 5, which is right down here. And that's where it went to. So I can color those in. And now I have my squares. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need a bar to the 5 as well. And now our bar graph is complete. We can answer some questions. How many squares and hearts are there all together? All together is my addition clue. So squares, there are 5. Hearts, there are 3. So 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay, how many fewer is my clue at subtraction. How many fewer hearts are there than circles? Well, there are 5 circles and 3 hearts, so there are 2 fewer hearts than circles. Okay, let's look at my next question. It says, use the same data to draw your own vertical bar graph. Label and fill in the graph by shape, then answer the questions about the graph. Okay, so my title would be type of shape. And here's my scale, which represents, I'm going to turn this, it represents the number of shapes. That's what my numbers represent. Okay, and then what shapes do I have? I might just draw them. Triangles, hearts, circles, or squares. Okay, so now when I make my bar graph, I already know my numbers. I might just take them from here. So I had 3. So I could color in that entire thing if I'd like. I might need a bigger marker if I choose to do that. Sometimes the bars don't touch and sometimes they do. So I could choose to color that all the way in. I might just grab a bigger marker. I'm going to go up to the 3 for my triangle. For my heart, I also had 3. For my circle, I have 5. And for my square, I also had 5. Okay, now they want me to answer some more questions. How many circles and triangles are there all together? Well, there are 5 circles and there are 3 triangles. So all together I have 8. How many more squares are there than hearts? How many more? Sounds subtraction to me. There are 5 squares and 3 hearts, so I'm going to say 2. Okay, so boys and girls, let's try some of these together now. I'm going to grab my green pen and grab my book. And today we are on page 283 to start with. And here's our first problem. It says, use the data to label and fill in the vertical bar graph by type of animal, then answer the questions about the graph. Okay, so our title is type of animal. Our scale is by ones, and our scale is talking about number of votes. And our categories are fish, mammal, insect, or bird. So fish, mammal, insect, or bird is what we need to come up with for this one. So my first category says fish. Okay, our first category says fish, so we can do that one. And we get, okay, let's look at our animals and see what fish we have. So our first fish is, let's see, a shark. Would we consider a shark a fish, or would we consider a shark a mammal? How many of you know that question? That's kind of a tricky question. A fish, would that be a shark a fish or a mammal? Well, sharks actually do lay eggs, so I would consider that a fish. So we can count him. We have an actual, just like a rainbow fish. I would count him. And then we have a dolphin, which we are not going to consider a fish. So we have 2 total fish. So down here, let's go to fish, and I'm going to do my bar up to 2. Okay, now we have our mammals. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have 8 mammals. So we're going to go all the way up to the 8 and color this one in. Okay, thanks for being patient, boys and girls, while I try and color. Now we have an insect. Okay, so we have, and remember last time we said we didn't see his legs, but we know he's an insect. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 4 insects. And then we have birds. So we have 1, 2 birds. And our bar graph on animals is complete. Okay, so now let's answer some questions. How many fewer fish are there than mammals? So that tells us we're going to subtract how many fewer. Well, there's 2 fish and there's 8 mammals. So 8 minus 2 equals 6. How many birds and insects are there all together? All together, that's addition. Well, there's how many birds? 2. How many insects? 4. So our answer is also 6. Okay, let's look at our next problem. Now it says we're going to use the same data to draw, label, and fill in a vertical bar graph by how the animal usually travels. Ooh, so this one's asking us something different, how the animal usually travels. Okay, so let's look at this. So our title, it's not really going to be the type. It could be like, we could say, how the animal travel. You know, ladies and gentlemen, now that I think about this, it's a title. Let's capitalize our T and let's capitalize our A. That would be better for a title. How the animals travel. And we could have also said like mode of traveling. We already have our scale. On here, we could say the number of animals. So we could write here number of animals. Number of animals. And then they told us they want our categories to be swim, walk, or fly. So swim, walk, or fly. Those are our categories. Okay, so we have to kind of look at both pages here. So I'm just going to look for swim first. So I'm going to grab my book and look at the swim ones. How many of those swim? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. I'm just coming up with 3. So let's add 3 to our swim category here. So for swim, let's go up to 3. Okay, now let's look at our walk category. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grasshoppers? What do you guys think about grasshoppers? Those usually walk or fly? I think we're gonna say maybe fly. So we'll maybe leave him. So we'll say 7. Let's double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 7 walk. Oh, good I didn't include my grasshopper. There would not have been any space for him. So a lot to color in. I'm just going to kind of color it quickly. Okay, and fly. Let's see how many of ours fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so let's add 6 of our animals fly. Okay, so my vertical bar graph is complete, and it's vertical because the bars are going up and down. So now let's answer some questions. How many more animals walk on land than fly? How many more tells us we're going to subtract. Well, 7 animals walk on land and 6 fly. So 7 take away 6 equals 1. How many swimming and flying animals are there all together? All together means we're going to add. So swimming are 3, flying there are 6, and 3 plus 6 equals 9. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you have quite a few to practice on your own right here, and then you're going to be continuing and practicing some more. Have a great night. Bye.